Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever felt totally lost in that maze of career options? Just completely overwhelmed? Well, today we're diving into a really cool way to handle all that confusion. We're going to talk about using AI, but not as some kind of boss telling you what to do, but as a mirror to help you find your own unique career signal. Let's get into it. It's a question a lot of us are asking ourselves, right? We are just surrounded by endless opportunities, new job titles popping up every day, tons of advice, and yet that clarity we're all looking for feels like it's just out of reach. You might feel stuck, or maybe you feel pulled in a million different directions at once. But what if the problem isn't really what's out there? And that is the core idea we're exploring today. The source material for this suggests that all this career confusion, it isn't really about a shortage of paths. It's about having a fuzzy understanding of ourselves. What actually drives us, what we're genuinely good at, and where our real interests are. It completely reframes the problem from something external to something internal.
Okay, so let's kick things off with our first section, the age of career confusion. We're going to explore why trying to navigate the noise of the modern job market has gotten so tricky, and why the stakes for figuring it out have honestly never been higher.
Just think about it for a second. When we don't really know ourselves that well, we tend to reach for the generic job titles, or we follow whatever career path is trendy at the moment, even if it's a terrible fit for us. And in a job market that's being completely reshaped by AI at lightning speed, that kind of vague self-concept, well, it can lead to dead ends and decisions we seriously regret down the line. So, if AI is speeding up the problem, could it also be part of the solution? The answer is a big yes, but probably not in the way you're thinking. And that brings us to our next section, AI as your reflection mirror. We're about to look at this from a totally new perspective. So instead of asking an AI, hey, what job should I do? This mirror approach uses it as a tool to process your stuff, your stories, your experiences, your random thoughts. The AI's only job is to reflect all of that back to you, pulling out patterns and connections that you might have totally missed. It doesn't give you the answers, it helps you find your own. Now, this slide is fantastic because it just lays it all out so clearly. On one hand, you've got the common view, AI as an authority. It gives you answers, it decides for you, it replaces your judgment. But the much more powerful approach is AI as a mirror. See the difference? It surfaces patterns, it aids your thinking, and it supports your judgment. The crucial thing here is that you stay in the driver's seat. All right, so that brings us to our third section, finding your signal. Now that we've got the concept down, let's look at the actual, practical process for using this AI mirror to cut through all that noise. And I love this piece of advice from the source material. The goal here isn't to magically discover the one perfect, lifelong career. Nope. The real goal is to improve the quality of your self-knowledge. It's about making your understanding of your own interests and strengths way sharper, clearer, and more reliable. And what's really cool is that this process helps you build some incredibly valuable skills along the way. You learn to actually articulate your interests with real examples, not just vague feelings. You start to identify your strengths with solid evidence to back them up. You get so much better at separating what truly matters, the signal, from all the distractions and noise. And maybe most importantly, you practice reflective judgment. So how does this actually work in practice? Well, the workflow is a pretty simple three-step process. First up is guided exploration. This is where you might feed the AI some journal entries or stories about past projects you really enjoyed. Second is synthesis. Here, the AI helps you spot those reoccurring themes, like maybe you have a consistent interest in solving puzzles or a real knack for explaining complex ideas. You then take those patterns and put them into your own words. And finally, the most crucial step, reflection. This is where you step back, look at everything, and really analyze what you've learned to build genuine self-knowledge. And this leads us to what is maybe the single most important principle in this entire process. No matter how amazing the tool is, the expert on you is you. This is the golden rule, right here. The AI is a powerful assistant, a great thought partner, a fantastic pattern finder. But it is not the thinker. The critical analysis, the value judgments, the final calls, all of that still belongs to you. And this quote just nails the idea of ownership. Whether you're submitting a cover letter or just finalizing your own self-assessment for yourself, you are 100% responsible for the output. You can't pass the buck and blame the AI. You used it as a tool, sure, but the final work is yours. So what does that ownership look like in the real world? It looks like asking yourself some tough questions. This is where the real insight happens. And notice that last question. What did AI help with, and what did you change or reject? That right there, that's true ownership. It means you're actively disagreeing with the AI when it's off the mark, and you're refining its output to be a true reflection of you. Okay, so after going through this whole reflective process, what do you actually walk away with? What's the tangible result here? The outcome is not a single job title. It's something way more valuable than that, a set of usable signals. It's a clear, clarified list of your core interests and your proven strengths, all grounded in concrete examples from your own life. This becomes your personal compass for making much, much better career decisions from now on. Ultimately, this whole process is about becoming the architect of your own self-understanding. By using these tools thoughtfully, you're not just finding a job, you are taking control of your own narrative. You're gathering the raw materials you need to consciously and confidently write the next chapter of your career story.